It used to be that an NBA great would force their way off of a team on a very rare occasion. It's becoming increasingly frequent these days. In the last 14 months, James Harden has accomplished this feat twice. All that is required for the trade request and a reasonable trade package to get things done successfully. In recent years, Anthony Davis has sailed out of New Orleans, Kyrie Irving has left Cleveland for Boston, and Kawhi Leonard has asked to be released from San Antonio. On top of all that, Ben Simmons has sat his way out of Philadelphia, and to name a few examples. It's only a matter of time before another name is added onto this list who want out. And there are already several excellent prospects who would be excellent candidates for such a shift. The 4 NBA superstars here are most likely to force their way out of their present team and be discussed in this article. Up first, we have Zion Williamson. Since the beginning of the season, Zion Williamson has been making headlines, and not in a good manner. Numerous media numbers, including former teammate JJ Redick, have lambasted the freshly acquired CJ McCollum after he acknowledged that he and Zion hadn't spoken since their acquisition. The All-Star forward has not appeared in a game this season, and it appears unlikely that he will do so in the future. Is this the last game that Williamson will play for the Pelicans? That may appear to be a theatrical scenario, but it's a real possibility. His absence from New Orleans has long been suspected, and he is said to have left town whenever the opportunity presented itself. The Pelicans retain his rights for several more seasons, including restricted free agency, but given his health and attitude, his trade value is diminishing by the day. It might be in everyone's best interests to move on as soon as possible rather than later. A team like New Orleans, which is just a few years removed from a similar situation with AD, could leverage his massive trade value to assemble an offense around McCollum and Brandon Ingram. Williamson might benefit from a much-needed change of scenery and return to the court to remind everyone why he was selected to play in the All-Star game last season. In the number 3 spot, we have Donovan Mitchell. It's been a few years now that Donovan Mitchell has had to dodge questions regarding his future with the organization. The great guard has made it obvious in interviews and conferences in the news that he is intending to remain in Utah and help with the Jazz to win a championship. Contrary to popular belief, the reports such as those from Sports Illustrated's Howard Beck have just surfaced. A contentious relationship with running mate Rudy Gobert, as well as his dissatisfaction with the politics in his home state of Utah, has put him in a position to leave the team. A prospective expansion into a wider market could be the icing on the cake. When you factor in the fact that the Jazz have struggled to replicate their previous success, it's possible that the team may undergo a complete rebuild or at the very least a reshuffling. Would they truly be able to move on from their franchise's defining future? Mitchell, who's only still 25 years old, would almost certainly demand a substantial trade deal, and he certainly has the authority to make the power move similar to that of Kawhi Leonard made with the Spurs. Alternatively, he may adopt a gentler "I want out" stance, similar to Paul George's in Indiana. There's no guarantee that a player of his caliber will be dealt, but if any NBA superstar were to switch teams in coming years, Donovan Mitchell could be the most likely candidate to make the switch. In the number 2 spot, we have Damian Lillard. You had a feeling he was going to show up at some point, right? Damian Lillard has been rumored to be the next big name trade target for years, but he's remained steadfastly committed to the Portland Trailblazers throughout. That is certainly commendable, but as he watches the front desk scramble to erect the ball around him once more, he must realize that the clock is ticking. The superstar is approaching his 32nd birthday and is suffering with an injury that could force him to miss the entire 2022 season, after only missing 29 games. It's a genuine question whether or not he's played his final game in Portland. Same with Williamson. Whether he's bouncing out for a bigger market or looking for a title, the guard could easily muscle his way out of his current scenario and into a better one. Despite having traded for CJ McCollum and creating a future cap space between the trade deadline, the franchise could make it big this offseason in the hopes of drawing him back for one more season. His loyalty will undoubtedly be put to the test, and there's no doubt about it. Every club in the league would want to have his playing caliber, but the large contract makes it a potential deal and a bit more difficult than it would be for a player like Williamson or Mitchell. However, if he wishes to leave, he will almost certainly be able to do so. Portland, please accept my heartfelt sympathy. And finally, in the number 1 spot, we have Russell Westbrook. Westbrook has endured one of the most difficult seasons of any player, much alone a superstar. The triple-double king has struggled in Los Angeles, and he was the subject of more than a few trade speculations as the trade deadline approached. Ultimately, the Los Angeles Lakers decided to keep him, but there's a significant probability that trade speculations may resurface after the playoffs are completed. Given Westbrook's dissatisfactory fit next to LeBron James and Anthony Davis, the Thunder would be foolish not to act, at the very least conduct in diligence before making a decision. The player's perspective is that he would like the opportunity to be the focal point of a new squad once more. Having previously shared responsibilities with James Harden and later Bradley Beal, the ball-dominant guard has become something of a third wheel in Los Angeles. If he wants to go somewhere where he could once again be unquestionable as the number one choice and put up all of the counting stats he wishes, he will need to change his environment in order to accomplish this. Well guys, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.